What does it mean to be a man today? Seriously? Think about it. Are we supposed to be hustling 24/7, climbing the corporate ladder, chasing wealth, status, and six-pack? Is that the path to a good life? The media, our social feeds, they all seem to scream yes. More is always better. But what if I told you that a philosopher who lived over 2,000 years ago had a radically different, and maybe far more effective, answer? His name was Epicurus, and his ideas might just be the antidote to the stress and burnout so many of us feel. Now, before you click away thinking this is some boring philosophy lecture, let me clear something up. Epicurus has a bit of a bad rap. When you hear the word Epicurean, you probably picture someone indulging in lavish feasts, expensive wines, and all sorts of decadent pleasures. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Epicurus wasn't about binge-watching shows until 3 a.m. and ordering takeout every night. He was about something much deeper, finding a state of lasting, sustainable happiness and tranquility. He called it ataraxia, a state of being free from anxiety and disturbance. Doesn't that sound like something we could all use a little more of? So, what was his big secret? It's surprisingly simple. Epicurus believed that the key to happiness wasn't adding more and more to our lives, but by wisely subtracting the things that cause us pain and anxiety. He said we should focus on what's truly necessary for a good life and let go of the rest. Let's break down his core ideas and see how they apply to us, as modern men, right here, right now. First up, let's talk about desire. Epicurus sorted our desires into 3 neat categories. First, the natural and necessary desires. These are the basics: food when you're hungry, water when you're thirsty, shelter, and companionship. Fulfilling these brings genuine satisfaction and removes pain. It's pretty hard to be happy if you're starving, right? Then, you have the natural but non-necessary desires. Think of this as the next level up. You don't just want food. You want a gourmet 7-course meal? You don't just want a drink! You want a vintage single malt scotch? These things are nice, sure, but Epicurus warned that they can easily lead to trouble. They're harder to satisfy, and the more we get used to them, the more we panic when we can't have them. It's the difference between enjoying a good meal and being miserable because you can't afford to eat at a Michelin-star restaurant every week. Finally, we have the vain and empty desires. This is where modern life really trips us up. This is the endless chase for fame, immense wealth, and power over others. Epicurus saw these as a total trap. Why? Because they have no natural limit. How much fame is enough? How much money is enough? The finish line keeps moving. This pursuit is fueled by what other people think, not by our own genuine needs. It's a recipe for constant anxiety, envy, and disappointment. You get that promotion, and for a week, you're on top of the world. Then you're already stressing about the next one. It's a hamster wheel. The lesson for us: take a hard look at what you're chasing. Is it a genuine need, or is it a vain and empty desire planted in your head by society or social media? Maybe you don't need the latest luxury watch or the fastest car. Maybe what you really need is more time with your family, or the peace of mind that comes from being debt-free. It's about consciously choosing what's worth your energy. This leads directly to his next big idea. The greatest pleasures are often the... Epicurus famously said, "With a little bread and water, I can rival Zeus for happiness." He wasn't saying we should all live like monks. He was saying that the relief of hunger is more pleasurable than the specific fancy food you eat. The true pleasure comes from satisfying the need. He believed the most reliable source of happiness comes from things that are easy to get. What's the easiest pleasure to get? Friendship. For Epicurus, friendship was the absolute pinnacle of a happy life. He said, "Of all the things which wisdom provides to make life entirely happy, much the greatest is the possession of friendship." Think about your best moments. Are they the times you bought a new gadget, or the times you were laughing so hard with your friends that your stomach hurt? For most of us, it's the latter. In a world that often pushes men to be lone wolves, to be stoic and self-reliant, Epicurus tells us to do the opposite. Cultivate deep, meaningful connections. Don't just network. Build a real circle of trust. Make time for your friends. Be there for them. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's the foundation of a strong, resilient, and happy life. It's your safety net when things get tough. A shared problem is a halved problem, and a shared joy is a doubled joy. Now, let's tackle a big one. Fear, particularly the fear of death. Epicurus had a brilliantly simple argument for this. He said, "Death is nothing to us. For when we exist, death is not present. And when death is present, we no longer exist." You can't experience being dead. You can fear the process of dying, which is a fear of pain, but you can't fear the state of known existence itself. Worrying about it is a complete waste of your precious time on this earth. How much of our modern anxiety is tied to this fear? We work ourselves to the bone to leave a legacy, to be remembered. We buy into anti-aging products and chase eternal youth. Epicurus would say, relax. Focus on living well now. The quality of your life is not measured by its length, but by its depth and its freedom from turmoil. Freeing yourself from this ultimate fear allows you to live more fully and bravely in the present moment. So, how do we put this all together? It's about a mental shift. It's about redefining success. Success isn't about having the most. It's about needing the least. It's about finding contentment in simple things. A good conversation, a walk in nature, a satisfying meal, and the security of true friends. This doesn't mean you can't be ambitious or have goals, but your ambition should serve your tranquility, not destroy it. If your career is causing you constant stress, anxiety, and sleepless nights, an Epicurean approach would be to ask, is it worth it? Is this vain and empty pursuit of status actually making my life better? Or is it just adding turmoil? Maybe a simpler job with less pay but more free time would bring you far more happiness. That's not failure. That's wisdom. It also means being mindful of what you consume. And I don't just mean food, I mean media. Social media is an engine for generating vain desires. It shows you curated, unrealistic lives and makes you feel like yours is inadequate. An Epicurean would probably advise limiting your exposure. Unfollow accounts that make you feel envious or anxious. Spend less time scrolling and more time doing things that bring you genuine, simple pleasure. Let's do a quick recap of the Epicurean toolkit for the modern man. 1. Analyze your desires. Focus on the natural and necessary. Be wary of the rest. 2. Cherish friendships above all else. This is your greatest source of security and happiness. 3. Seek simple pleasures. The best things in life really are free, or at least very cheap. And 4. Don't fear things outside your control, especially death. Focus on living well right now. Living like Epicurus doesn't mean dropping out of society and moving to a commune, though. He did have one called the Garden, where he lived with his friends. It means living smarter. It means playing the game of life by a different set of rules. Rules that are designed to maximize your long-term peace of mind, not your short-term status. It's about building a life that feels good on the inside, not one that just looks good on the outside. It's a quiet rebellion against the modern cult of more. So next time you feel that pressure to hustle harder, to buy more, to be more, take a step back. Ask yourself, what would Epicurus do? The answer might not be to add something to your life, but to subtract something. And in that subtraction, you might just find the happiness you were chasing all along. Thanks for watching. If this gave you a new perspective, hit that like button and subscribe for more ideas on how to live a better, more thoughtful life. Let me know in the comments what you think. See you next time.